Okay, so we're continuing to look at the circle's equation. Here on this circle, we have the center of the circle at 3, 0, and the radius is going to be 4. So putting that into the circle's equation gives us x minus 3 squared plus y minus 0 squared equals 4 squared. Simplifying, we get x minus 3 squared plus y squared equals 16. Okay, let's move on to a harder problem. Have a go at solving this problem. Start by sketching the problem. And I'll just pause the video. Okay, so just sketching the problem, we can see that it's going to look like this. We can also see that those two are in a vertical line. There is no shift in the x value there. So the distance formula there is quite easy for us to do. We could find the length of that line if it wasn't vertical or horizontal by using the distance formula. If it's vertical or horizontal, you just use the axis scale and count off. So clearly the length of this line is going to be equal to 10. So the length of this line is 10. So in that particular case, we have the center of the circle here, and the length of that line is 10, so that's the radius. So this is r is equal to 10. In some problems, you're going to get 2 points, and if it goes through the center of the circle, you're getting the diameter from the distance formula, and then you can halve it and you can get the radius. So it should be quite easy then at that point. We've got x plus 2 squared plus y minus 7 squared is equal to 100. That's it. Okay, let's try this next one. Oh, sorry, were there any questions on that last one?
Wouldn't the radius be 5 because it's the distance between the center and the edge, or there's something?
It's from the center to the edge, that's radius.
Yeah, so what
So if we take a circle like this one, this is the radius.
Oh, okay, I get it.
This is the diameter. So if you were to define 2 points on the circle, but told that it was on, that they pass through, that it's on the diameter, then you can halve it and things.
Sir?
Yeah.
Is that standard form?
Yes.
Okay.
This is standard. This is standard form, not general form.
Sir, what are the other forms?
What are?
The other forms of like circle equation?
So if you expand and move it around, then it's general form.
I thought standard form was AX.
For a circle, this is standard form. Okay. This next problem is a little trickier. So we need to write this in standard form. What you're going to be doing for this one is you're going to be factoring. You're going to be factoring. Okay? So think a little bit about the expansion of a plus b squared, or a minus b squared. Think about these two quadratic expansions to help you solve this problem. You're doing it backwards. I will pause for a minute and give you some time to struggle. Okay, so we are going to try and have a little look at this type of a problem. Let's do an expansion. If I expand this, what do I get? Let me take this back.
X squared plus 3 squared plus 2, 6, 8. 6 squared. Yeah.
I get this. The general formula for this is what?
A squared plus 2ab plus b squared.
And when it's negative? Remember that it's plus b squared always. Okay, so the important thing in all of this is that 2. Where does that 2 come from?
I thought you have 2 of the same.
Yeah, when you do the FOIL, you've got an a times b and then you've got a b times a, and then they add together. That's the key to this. So we need to make it look something like that.
The screencastify is it?
Isn't it? I think I am. I think I switched it back on. Yeah. Thanks, Maria. Okay. So it's got to look something like that, doesn't it? Now, what we've got here is we can rearrange this. We've got x squared plus y squared minus 4y is equal to 0. Looking at this, I can see that the x coordinate of the central point is going to be 0. The x coordinate of the central point has to be 0. Why? Not quite. Not quite. You might not be explaining what you're thinking correctly.
It's because we only have x squared, so if we had standard form, it would be x minus 0 squared, which simplifies to x squared.
Yeah, we only have an x squared term. We don't have a term in x. And that is because it's x minus 0. So x squared. That's why we don't have that 6x, 10x, whatever. But we do have a y. Now, we don't have all three terms. We'll not worry about that. So if this is the middle term, so if this minus 4y is the middle term like that, then what should A be and what should B be?
2, 2.
A is going to be y. So what we can see is we don't have a term in x, so it's x squared. We then have to, in order to get these two, we need y minus 2 squared. That's the only way we can create the 4y. So all we care about is creating the 4y. Other problems we'll fix later. So we can see that whatever half that is this value here. Super easy. You divide that by 2. Now we've got to fix some problems. We've created an extra term. What's b squared? 4. So this expression here, we want y squared. Sorry, let me just clean up my board a little bit. Let's do this now. These are my rough notes. We want y squared minus 4y. We want that expression to balance with this expression. But at the moment they don't, do they? How big this one's bigger, isn't it? We've got an extra 4. So let's take it away. Now I say they balance. Do they? Does this equation balance? I'll show you. If we expand the bracket, we get y squared minus 4y plus
4 minus 4.
4 minus 4. I balanced it. So all I have to do here is take away the 4. And now it's balanced. And then I rearrange it. What's the radius of this circle? 2. The radius is 2. This process is called completing the square. It's a useful technique, and I decided that on Wednesday we'll practice that technique in some basic quadratics to pimp up your IM2 a little bit. Okay, so that's our surface equation. Have a go at one for yourself now. It's a little bit easier this time. It's not the same problem. In this problem, you know the method. Now apply the method. I will pause the video. Okay, so for this question, we can see here that we have a term in x. That means we have to have an x plus some number squared. That number is going to have to be 3. It's half of whatever the coefficient of the term in x is. So we've got x squared plus 6x, which means we have to produce it with an x plus 3 squared. Using an x plus 3, we will not get x squared plus 6x. We'll get x squared plus 6x plus 9. So we've got too much. Take away the too much. Take away the too much. Then we can see there's no term in y, so it's simply y squared, and we have a 15 here. Lastly, we need to move the excess from the completed square to the other side, and we'll get 24. What is the radius of this circle?
24.
The radius is root 24. How big is that number?
A little less than 5.
Jonathan says a little less than 5.
Yeah, right.
Can you see? He knows that 25 is, the root of 25 is 5, so this has to be a little less. It's a good skill. It's a good skill to be able to estimate those type of numbers. Find the nearest square values and see which one's its closest to it. It's a little more than that one or a little less than that one. Okay. Right then, that's it for today. Have a go at the IXL activities. Do them in order. You can find them on the Google Classroom. I recommend starting at the one I posted first and then the second one. When you've done that, you should do that one during class. When you've done that, there's a worksheet. 2 of those problems in there are hard. That's it for today. Thank you very much.